sure stuff's good. Also, wait, one drink for later. Yep, got other stuff on it. Okay, that stuff ready. Okay. Yep, no, very slow. Da, 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 da. Okay. Close Discord out then. Pull up chat. So hi to the people that are actually watching this. So, yep, this should be good. I've got stuff up whenever they want me to start. They're transitioning the screen over, but so that's froze. Ah, there we go. Yep. Should be able to see things. Yep. Hi, everybody. Hi, chat. Hi to the handful of people that are willing to stick out to watch this. Marathon, considering everything else going on. Thank you all for watching. Hi. I'm Mageius1. And I'll be with you for a couple hours for both this and Tension Media later. For starters, this is Project Nimbus Complete Edition. It's sort of a combat mech, aerial combat mech love letter to a lot of those type of anime games. Before I get started, quick note. If you notice that I do have an input display up at the top left, that's because this game can be a little complicated on that one, and it's a lot easier to just explain some of the stuff while doing it. And just to give you some basic stuff, some of the stuff you'll see, I prefer to really go and look at one of my favorite missions just to show you just like some of the stuff. It's a lot easier to just explain, you know, than trying to do this during the usual, you know, beginning part of it, because you can see just how fast some of the stuff goes, and just how fast and, you know, important some of the things are. But anyway, let's get out of that one. I will point out, if the screen looks a little weird, that is because, the actual screen resolution does matter as far as the tech goes for actual visibility in the speedrun, as well as some of the actual ability to modify where the game is, because this game has, well, anti-aliasing and super sampling, and it being a little on the older side, it's sort of not optimized well, and the super sampling ends up sampling more clouds than anything else, making the visibility a little harder. Also, the depth of field being low also means that it's a lot easier to avoid things. Well, to be able to see more. Anyway, the game was divided into 4 acts, 28 missions, 27 if you don't want to count the training mission. To give a description of each individual thing, casual basically is you really don't have to worry about stuff. You have infinite health regeneration and auto-targeting, which means the game will automatically lock onto the nearest enemy. Gamer, which is what we're going to be doing, is we don't have any of that. We have to manually keep lock on to make sure that we can actually hit enemies, and we don't have health regen. Last but not least, prepare to die mode. We won't be doing this because essentially it makes things a lot harder, and you're taking a lot more damage. So consider this like a good balance of things. Anyway, let's get started in a 3, 2, 1, let's go! And for starters, you'll see me buffering some inputs. That's because the game does allow for actually being able to do that. So we're going to be using that to our advantage throughout the run. Going to slowly move the camera here and there. I will point out that I will do the best I can to try to not adjust the camera as much or as fast as I could, just to make it easier for people that might have a tiny bit of motion sickness. But it's one of those things that is inherent with the speedrun. Right now the game is just telling us to get through all these kills as fast as anything. Nothing too nothing too much to worry about. And it looks like I missed one. Ah, got it.
Got good news and bad news.
We're gonna skip the cutscene and immediately start with Skull 1 here. Think of this as our actual battle tutorial. So we're gonna immediately turn around, fire some missiles, swap there, fire some more missiles here, swap there. Use the fact that the game taught us that we can multi-target with our missiles to essentially use one of the only ways this mode has of actual lock-on. Well, I shouldn't say lock-on, but auto-targeting. Because the auto-target ability will sort of allow us to track where certain enemies are without having to adjust things as much. So I'll try to also explain the story as we go along, but this game is very fast-paced and very good. From a small developer on that one there, we're going to slowly ease like this, slowly move like there to there, lock on again, mobilize there, back up here. Now you may think, Raids, this seems easy. It does end up being pretty easy and fun and chill. Consider this our, basic tutorial, as I said, our combat tutorial. Now I will note that one of the things that you will be seeing me do a lot is the 360-degree turn button. Also, sorry if I am a little out of practice. Now we're going to take out the ground targets. Still not used to having to adjust to the 1080 by, the 1080p for the game because of originally I would do one of the other actual graphic settings, but that sort of did, when I did a lot of testing for it, it sort of did actually affect visibility, so yeah. Did I miss one? Let's see, did I? Nope. Just took a bit. We're gonna fire there. Gonna move here. Gonna slowly ease over here. Slowly control our momentum. Fire here, there, and everywhere. Fire there. Reload quick. If we ain't firing at anything, we want to reload. We also want to make sure that we fire just so that we get the ability to lock on to multiple enemies, as well as make sure that if we have any missiles left over, or our guns, or any of our weapons as we get more, we want to make sure that we actually do reload them, because the fact that you might have that one little shot left and not realize it really does affect things. Also, Skull 1 here, even though his name is different, is a reference to both Macross and Robotech. Also, you'll notice that me actually taking a mission restart here, that's because not only does it A, set us up in a good spot for this, but it also gives us a health and ammo refill. So we're going to move over here, get rid of the first enemy, take the enemies here. The game will tell us the purple enemies. These are the enemies that we really need to get really need to take out. So we're going to slowly move in, lock on everything here, so that way the enemy, it's a lot harder for the enemy to avoid. We want to stay out of the arena. Well, we want to stay in the arena. This particular battle frame does not have a lot of mobility. Well, it's better than others, but it does not have the best boost, which we will be using a lot of. Lock on there, lock on here, quickly swap targets, because, as I said, we have to do a lot of this manually on this difficulty, which means controlling our momentum as well as adjusting where we fire. Reload, and of course I'm getting horrible luck on the beginning. Isn't it how it always is? The estimate is mainly for the fact of we try to control things where we can and make sure we can do well, but we can't control everything. And this is with the actual motion blur turned off. Come on. There we go. Reload quick. Yep. Can do. We're going to lock on to the first enemy, the nearest one. The red box there tells us where they are. We're going to slowly control our momentum. Let them come to us. Because if they're going to come to us, then it is a lot easier to deal damage. And the faster they take the damage, the sooner we can get rid of them. I know I'm explaining this horribly on that one there. You move close. You're close enough that my missiles can lock on. Sometimes it's better to fire them as a single volley for targeting one enemy. Sometimes it's better to actually lock on multiple enemies. Right here, I'm just going to do that there. Hope that those missiles hit and try to hit the next enemy. Because they keep wanting to run away. And I know this is basically, if this was a PB attempt, I would be very far behind. Not that bad, but more the annoying thing. There we go. And right now I can't look at the timer. Oh, I can. While I'm waiting, I'm going to check quick. Just out of curiosity. Quickly do that there, mash here. And welcome to one of our main characters, Mirai.
CPU is up. Data link online. Weapon systems are armed. Particle output stable. Yukon direct brain interface established.
And now we're going to swap to here, boost here. Use the fact of one of our best tech weapons in the game. The Blade Dash. This immediately rushes us straight towards the enemy. We will be using it everywhere possible. Because not only does this let us get close to enemies, it lets us basically rush towards them, lock on, get close, and deal a lot of damage. And getting unlucky here, but it is what it is. Enemy running away. You may think, Mage, how can you speedrun a game like this? The answer is, you actually, it's all about, like, skill, positioning, and game knowledge. So we're going to move in here closely, use our railgun, which is one of our best weapons. Move here, blade dash there. Think of Mirai as sort of our armor character, if you are familiar with Gundam. We're going to reload everything while waiting. We're going to set up the smart missiles. We're going to drop down here. Going to turn around. Boost back here. Fire the smart missiles, which basically do allow us to not have to auto-target. Lock onto all those. Use our railgun, which is literally one of our most powerful weapons. Do that there. Now we have our psychodrone. Case in point, sort of the funnels. Just like how you have them for Gundam and other stuff. Should cover all those. I'm gonna go like this, this. Do that there, that there. Lock onto this. Align up so we actually can control our hitbox with the blade. We want to keep making sure we lock onto the correct enemies. Sometimes it's just faster to just make sure you lock onto every enemy, and sometimes that missile volley is very useful. Because if we can hit them, we can kill them.
The Corvette ship and all of its escorts are destroyed. Good work. Takao will pick you up in a moment. Please wait there.
From now on, I entrust Mirai, I mean the human Mirai, under your care. Please raise her.
Think of Mirai, as I said, like our armor character for the Gundam fans. You know, so add a little bit of augmentation on that one. And now we're going to quickly skip this cutscene again. We're part of Mithril. For those Full Metal Panic fans out there, this is actually a reference to that one. Fun fact about the Complete Edition, we have access to our blade here. The original did not give you access to it. So we're just going to keep rotating around the camera. Make sure we lock onto everything. Now, the one thing the game doesn't tell you is that you do have a combo attack.
Please avoid close range engagement. There's another squadron. This one comprises of Mi-24 cannon type.
I will point out that we also have a 180 degree button. The problem is that that is a pure 180 degrees. So the fact that we are in a full 3D environment means it will turn us 180 not only based on direction, but also which way we are facing. So if we're looking up, it'll switch us down. If we're looking down, it'll make us look up.
If you're under attack from missiles, just release the target drone. Psycho drones will help intercept incoming missiles.
Yeah, we get that. But the best defense is a good offense sometimes. And that holds true for a lot of things in this game. Oh, you. Stay in camera range. As I said, I'm used to having it a bit further out, but the other thing is because of the weird properties the game developers did, the screen resolution does seem to affect hitboxes. And we're going to do that there. Final start. Not there. Moving close. We have to take out a group of terrorists. You may wonder why we're having to take out these enemies. That's because if we avoid them, they still are present and we still have to take them out.
All of the ship missile launchers are online. Expect heavy missile barrage.
You notice just having to fly in close, align ourselves up, retarget, align up perfectly, and also be able to hit the enemy at the same time we are firing our blade attack. This actually does affect how and when the damage is dealt. We want to do that there, that there, that there, lock on, and we're through the first part. We have to take out someone named Jennifer, aka the third in command of the Children of Fallen Nations, as, of course, after World War II. Not World War II. World War III. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. And then we will on this side.
She's a confirmed ace. Morgan, keep the distance. Don't let her
Basically going to let them spawn first. So that way we don't have to worry about them. Ah, forgot where they were. So this way we can just target Jennifer directly. Ideally, we want to just target Jennifer entirely, and only. Again, not used to the new setup for this. Because all we need to kill is Jennifer. But we managed to get through.
Very nice job, Lassie.
And again, skipping the cutscenes, we're going to mash. On that one there, we're immediately going to boost up. Too far.
Destroy all the supply base. There are some turrets and
We'll lock on to all the enemies here.
but that supposes no
Now I will point out, ground targets are a bit of a pain to hit with the railgun. As because they're on the ground, they sometimes don't want... The game sometimes does not really let you lock on perfectly with them.
Enemy reinforcements confirmed.
Even if it's locked on, it will not hit there because of ground terrain. However, normal missiles do work, as does our normal gun. Without that, reload. Fire that there. Lock on to the enemies. And I'm used to playing it with a slightly better actual higher resolution, but you take what you can get as far as choice of damage output versus the visibility. And luckily, if I can't fight an enemy, throwing out the smart missiles is a good way for me to be able to find them trail-wise. Because, of course, it's got to have that signature, you know, mech-style missile trail.
Detected. It's a heavily armed, low-speed type.
That's him. Obana Takeshi, 3rd rank.
And again, we're going to take a mission restart here. Think of this as a way to adjust things, as it's the way the game gives us checkpoints. I want to move here. Fire that there, fire that there. Now, I would normally get close and fire the, what I like to call a blade missile volley.
Captured or finished. Only first in
And
command.
if you notice the way that sounded, you can tell that it landed, which is essentially using a blade for the for a full missile attack directly at the enemies.
Energy weapon. I think it has an ion cannon too.
But you also want to make sure that we don't go get, you know, destroyed,
Rather than evasive action,
because being that close in.
this as an advantage.
And the one thing with Mirai is you can do that with railgun and have the shot of the railgun and your blade attack hit at the same time. You do a bit more damage, a lot of more damage to some degree, though since this game does not have the ability to check the exact damage threshold, it's something that you can only go by feel. And the nice thing is the game gives us another checkpoint.
Claire, take to Cadbridge Command.
So we're going to use this again. We have to take out all these, sadly.
Arrived at the combat zone. Lieutenant, give me a sit rep.
Of course, the Russians.
In the combat area. It's not ZX-03 yet. We've never seen this one.
Let's go, come on. Where are you two?
We don't have any information on this mission.
Whatever it is, it does not change our mission. What is judgment?
I think
We
it
need to
must
take
be
out
shut down.
these.
That's fine. We
Okay.
can have Admiral Zhukov
Check
recover
radar.
Just keep an eye
Okay,
on
so
the
we need to
device.
go over here to take on Liliana.
Unknown battle frame approaching the combat area.
That is surely a hostile, Lieutenant. No need to mark it as unknown.
Because that's all we need to take out, so just getting Liliana taken down. You'll meet her backstory later on. And just because we have the time, we're going to take out Andrea as well.
Pick me up down here.
Your headache any better yet,
If we take care of that fast, we can usually get here before our reinforcements, aka Ingrid, shows up.
I'd be late for the party, boys.
The other machines
She will show up, but the party's over.
re-equipped
Sorry, Ingrid,
and missile launch.
you missed the party.
A lot of weapons.
You can usually tell how good that mission is via how good the how good the actual, don't tell me. Yup, it did. Game has sometimes where it will freeze up. Yay. That means I've got to do this quick. Because yes, the game does want to be a pain. Don't worry. This is something that I've known about here and there, and it does happen on occasion. Should be right back up, and here we go. It's technically allowed in the speedrun as well, so it's all good. So we're on this one. Go with this again. Although I don't like to submit runs where this happens, but it is what it is. Anyway, we're now playing as Jennifer, you know, the person that we took out. This is sort of the escape from, you know, captivity mission. Now we're gonna buffer and input for our missiles and start holding it in. Now, the Guardian here is the worst of the battle frames. And by worst, I mean it doesn't even have the ability to boost. Barely has anything armor-wise. I shouldn't say armor-wise, but ammo-wise. This is not me being horrible. This is actually the fact of how hard it is to control.
It's an army base outside.
It flies up constantly. Now we have to escape. Control our stuff here. Go like that there. Fire that there. Move there. Yes, this game can be tricky. Although it is fun casually. In fact, when Twitch went through the, hey, you have to get rid of all your highlights, I did keep my completing this, one of my VODs from this, beating part of it casually. We only need to take out these generators and nothing else. Want to sit over here. Quickly move here, here, here. Again, this is legitimately the worst of the battle frames. Ideally, you would want to kill them all and then fly over, have the last one that's closer to this be the last one we take out. We need to hold down here so that we tried to not bonk on that, but it is what it is.
You don't have to dogfight them. Just take some pot shots and keep them from getting close.
All we really need to do is just not care.
To survive until my work is done.
And then you have the actual, like, random, hey, we have, you know, getting inside help. At least that's what it appears like. We don't know who that is. But we just gotta hang out here until the game gives us the ability to go into that cargo, into the hangar that I was just pointing at. Put that there. Reminds me, I'm gonna have to go through and do another run of this at some point. Especially considering I hate when the game does that, when I have to lose time just for that. Although, ideally, this will probably be a PB even with that, but that's sort of because my current PB happens to have a death in it. And this mission here is very tricky. That's because the amount of enemies in the second part. They weren't just busting us out of jail. Think they'd spend all that time and effort to bust just one single pilot out of jail? Nah. They stealing stuff. So we just gotta hang out and then protect the goods they're stealing. Also, fun fact, this game actually has a first-person mode, which is nice. It does allow for a little bit of aiming help, but at the same point, less visibility. So you have the choice of camera or first-person style stuff where it's a bit harder to keep things on target. So we're going to go up here, down here, slowly, we'll momentum, wait here, just so we don't get caught on that. Then we're going to fly in here, immediately get here, and we start the second part of the mission. Fly out there, swap to here, and now then we have to protect certain units here, not the green units. It's the blue units that we need to care about. I want to position perfectly here so we line up and control our momentum, fire our missiles.
See those M3s that activated after yours? Don't let them take too much damage.
Yeah.
Keep them functioning after all of this.
Yeah. We don't know why they need it, but we'll learn soon enough, maybe. Follow the enemy units. This is the one mission that is a pain to do on PC, as the Switch version is actually competitive, surprisingly. And that's because it does not have to deal with the super sampling, plus so it sort of gets rid of a lot of the cloud cover, meaning visibility becomes a lot easier. And with visibility being quite easier, you can imagine just how easy it is to follow and track some of these things. Gonna lock on there. Make sure to not have them kill all the units. As our allies, think of this as like a giant escort mission, and if you're like me and any other speedrunner that speedruns games where you have escort missions, you know how annoying they are. Did we get them all? Looks like it for the first wave. Yep, there we go. There's the second wave. We want to follow and hit the enemies as they come towards us. Because if they're coming towards us, that means we can just lock on and they'll run right into our fire. Come on. If they're doing that there, then it's just a lot easier to do that because it's like shooting fish in a barrel. To use that old adage, if I may. Lock on, fire those there, line up there, move there. I know I'm not explaining this as well right now, but that's because this mission really is a pain because it's all about positioning and control of movement. 3 left, where the heck are you? Radar, thank you. See, the radar sometimes does not show where everything is on that one. Especially on some things. So ideally we want to just keep as many of them alive as we can. If we got them all, then the next round should be starting soon. Yep. Quickly reload that there. Lock on there. Quickly load them up. Quickly go for that in there. Because we do not want to have the our allies die last second. It legitimately becomes a huge time loss. Come on. And if you can tell, it's just hard to follow even with lighting turned down and other stuff. Controlling momentum here. Fire those there, lock on here. It's all about keeping track of things. Slowly control our momentum. You do not get to cost me time. Come on now. The game can be dumb sometimes. Like having our allies fly right into some of the missiles. That is not a good thing to do.
Wow, breaking things
Got
up
it.
is truly your strong point.
If we go too far out of the flight zone, we take damage. It's not an automatic game. It's not an automatic mission loss.
This is
Move there, move there. And we're going to turn around, because that's where the enemy will, beginning it will spawn. And we're already near the end of Act 1. Gonna wait till it says, you know, that
during the briefing, Ingrid.
Air Force 1 is there, then we're immediately going to fly forward.
Air Force One will enter Patriot
This is so we do not lose
Protect Air Force
or
One.
have the enemies move where they are.
Air Force One status is now shown on screen. It's an Aurora-class transport ship.
Next
It'll
set
be
will
easier to
spawn.
disable hostile machines today.
We want to follow Air Force 1 on some things. Fun fact, there is a Steam achievement for letting Air Force 1 not take a single point of damage. It is the only achievement I do not have in this game. That's because it is very hard to accomplish. Air Force 1 being that yellow circle with a dot. So we just want to stick by it because every other enemy for the next few waves will be right in front of it. Fun fact, the plane, and thanks to one of the other people that has played this game, it apparently actually flies in a triangle and then magically turns around. We want to just fly close.
Funnels deployed.
Fly close, use our funnels and smart missiles. This is more about just waiting out the timer. So what we're going to do is stick close to Air Force 1. control our momentum. Use those. Fly close. Take them all out. Reload. Again, fly close to Air Force One. Don't overshoot it, mates. Don't overshoot it. We lock on, we reload, we do this. They're just chilling for now. So it's sort of a defense mission, not truly escort, but close enough.
Will be there in 2 minutes.
Again, sometimes you just want to get rid of the enemies as fast as possible, regardless of what weapon you got. Control that there. Fire all our missiles there. Get close on that one there. One nice thing about the movement for the blade dash, it does let us get close to certain enemies. And we're getting closer. Take them out. Take them out. Take them out. Reload. Reload. Swap to the funnels. Follow where the enemies are. Control our momentum so that way we don't have the shots go off target. Reload. Reload again. Fire Air Force One again. Fun fact, as I said about having to defend Air Force One for the achievement for this, you basically have to have it not take a single point of damage, and the health bar in it over there does not show exactly if it's taken damage or not. Luckily, it's only in the first section of the mission, but even then, it is one of those things. It is very hard to tell if it's taken damage or not. Our ship. Patriot is essentially the armed satellite we got to deal with. Technically, we do have a co-pilot in Morgan, even though we never see them. We do know that they are present. Considering the way that it's talked about, it sort of feels like we do have them as co-pilot. Lock on, lock on, lock on, reload. I know I'm not explaining this as much, but again, still also getting used to having to readjust the monitor, as I said, because of how it does affect things. And do you want extra damage or extra visibility? And both of them are very important in the speedrun.
Incoming squadron of high-performance battle frames and a combat support ship.
Swap that in there.
LCS ship.
Fire those there.
Attract both the ship and the battle frames.
Move there.
The LCS ship has a
Fire that there.
Don't let it
Move
target
there.
the airport.
They're still enemy. Lock onto our stuff. Notice that we don't use our normal guns. That's because they don't really have the best range. Now we're gonna funnel set up. Get close to this. And let's show them the meaning of a missile volley.
All hostile units
And
destroyed.
we're taken
This
through there.
mission is a
Now we've got to
success.
deal with
Sir,
the
we'll escort you to the 7th Fleet waiting at the rendezvous
actual god, the Patriot. Sorry, could not remember the name of it. But again, we're going to take a mission restart, but that is mainly so we start right in front of it, as we have 5 minutes to take it out. We won't, surprisingly, we won't need 5 minutes.
You've got 5 minutes until Patriot will fire. Patriot has a solar bomb warhead.
We need to make sure we keep targeting the correct thing. as there's a lot of enemy in the area, and the game sometimes will target the wrong thing. We don't have the ability to swap targets, except for unlocking and then relocking on. So it's all about making sure we maintain lock onto the correct target. This is one of those rare times where we will use our regular guns to keep up the extra damage. Think of this as like our first major boss fight. I feel like that there, fire those there. Quickly swap around. This is the type of thing where you just want to quickly move and hold your finger down on the fire button, even if it might do a weapon that you didn't want to fire. Like our actual defensive stuff. Ugh, can't speak sometimes. Let's get close and just take it out like that. And we've got it done. Now we're playing on the Russian side. And we gotta move forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you notice down at the bottom, you see my boost gauge. I want to move here because we need to inspect some stuff. As long as we get into there very closely, we can skip inspecting everything else because the only last one matters. We're going to position ourselves over here because there's something strange going on at the airport.
Military transport plane at runway 5. State your service and intention.
Okay, Irel here. We sent no one to the civilian airport. What's that? The airport.
Tank! They're firing at the terminal.
Okay, Irel,
Gonna skip
Battlefront Squadron.
that one, and then we're going to immediately start firing at the next set of enemies. This is why you want to go there anyway, because that is our next objective. So it is just faster to make sure that when we finish up, we immediately start there. We're going to not go straight ahead because more enemies will spawn. So we're going to slide over here because more will spawn closer to us. And you want to be able to do that. It's so that way it's a lot easier to be able to set things up. So remember when we helped allow enemies, stuff to get stolen? Well, this is what it was for. Sort of a, I won't say false flag operation because it's technically not ours. We're not technically part of them, but sort of an attacking and making it look like it's a different enemy. Before I forget or lose track of that one, I'm going to quickly go grab this enemy here so I don't lose track of them, because this mission can be very hard for tracking purposes. Reload. Slowly move towards the next enemy. Reload again. Use our railgun here. Now we just have to wait out a timer. We do have to wait for our reinforcements here, sadly. So this mission is legitimately one of the least optimized of the run, just because that is actually a 5-minute timer. That is a wait, and there is no way to speed up the timer. So ideally, you would want to just be able to try and get the enemies, prevent all the enemies from spawning, because they will keep going on and keep respawning. While essentially you want to try to prevent them, have the least amount of enemies spawn when it comes to the final area, the final part. So essentially, we want to try to maintain someone there, just so that way more enemies don't spawn as much. So we're gonna let this one come here. Also, take a look at the cockpit, because as I said, we're gonna try to not let them spawn some. However, we have at least smart AI. Our allies, in a sense, are actually halfway decent. God, I can't speak today. So we're just gonna hang here, let our stuff reload, and just letting them, move around. As I said, we want to try to have them not spawn more enemies, but since they will spawn more enemies, we need to have it, spawn either as soon as possible or as late as possible to try and see if we can prevent some from spawning at the very end.
Enemy's reinforcements have arrived. Prepare to engage.
And I'm going to have to take a minute at some point and find a spot to get a drink. Don't worry, I've got a little bit of time here and there. As sometimes we have to wait for the end of a mission, for events to happen. So, don't worry, I will be able to stay hydrated. And also because this is a floating city, some enemies can fly under it. So it is all about tracking things here.
Heads up, more contacts.
So we want to slowly target this thing. Control our momentum. Again, I would usually do have things at a different screen resolution, but again, damage versus visibility, and the game making a choose on that one does affect things. So he's there. However, as I said, the one positive note is that it does actually help with damage. And we'll want to fly up here, fly over here. As you can see, the enemies will come. It's technically on a timer, and yet technically also when it gets to a certain number. This is limited if there are more enemies on the screen at a certain value, I believe. Again, this is the one mission that is hard, that has not had as much work into it as far as optimizations go. Because I personally don't have the time to grind out something in 5-minute intervals. I got better things to do in my life, and I don't make money off of Twitch, so nor anything on speedrunning, so it's a matter of, well, do I do this, or do I work on something else? I want to do that there, reload. As you can see there, I had only one shot left, and noting that you have one shot left really does matter, because it will not reload unless you manually do it or you run out of ammo. I'm gonna fire over this here. So we really want to hold off on something so that way the enemies don't spawn in last second. Some will spawn, but at the same point we want to make sure that we get rid of as many as we can, because we will have to wait out the clock. Like I said, we have to wait out the clock, but we're going to position here perfectly. And now one of the best tracks in the game. Hope. Had we taken long at the previous mission, we would have heard this for the first time there. But because we did that mission quite well, we don't have to worry as much. Slowly move over here, control our momentum here. The one thing that is really interesting with something like this is momentum becomes a huge actual fact in the speedrun. For those that have seen some of my other runs, this one, if you've seen some of my Macross runs, well, especially the PS2, or very long before, my Robotech 1, although shoutouts to my GameCube not working at present. But you'd think those, might be bad with controlling momentum. This is full control momentum. Full controlled momentum. Ironically, this is something I am actually halfway decent at. Reload, reload. Try to find the last enemy. Check radar. Radar doesn't have it there, so let's get the missiles and start holding it in, see if I can spawn. Not spawn, but find it. Because the game's radar is not the best, and you can lose time for losing track of them. Anything underneath? Don't see it. There they are. As I said. Gotta boost as fast as we can. There we go. And there we go. For that one there. Remind me, but I need a drink. And now, I will say, for those Macross and Robotech fans out there, and for those fans of Transforming Mechas, this is the mission that made me realize this connection. And by the way, I laughed my ass off when I noticed it, because we can transform. And this is essentially the only battle frame that has that ability. However, we also get a laser sword. Skull 1 being Roy Falker's call sign from both Macross and Robotech. Now, this mission, I cannot go down. By down, I mean I do not want to go down there. Because, let's just put it this way. Gravity exists in this world, in this game. And we're in space, technically. So, yeah. We will crash and essentially die. And there really is no checkpoint in this mission, so let's get going. Ah, good. Quickly lock on. That one there. The fighters you can take out with a single shot of the sword. So that's what we're going to do. We need to protect every one of those elevators. You will see me use the actual flight mode when I need to. But it really is hard to control. However, luckily we have solid AI partners. Do that there. Fire and lock on. Fire and lock on. As I said, the one nice thing about the Blade Dash is that it does help us with locking on. Fun fact, this was not in the original game. Meaning the Blade Dash itself. They had slowdown for that one, you know, like bullet time. Go like that there, lock on and do there. Aim here, because if we go too far down, like the enemy there, we can actually die. And that is one of the biggest drawbacks in this game. Controlling how far down you can go and where they are. Like, I am not going to go down there. I will die. I'm not even joking. You will get a warning message. Well, fun fact, if you kill everything, you can still die even after completing the mission. I have learned that the hard way. And they are way out of my range for that one, but if I go too low... As I said, if I go too far down, you will die. And I can't stress that enough. So we're going to go like that one, use the fact that you can turn, you can actually convert to your flight mode, aka your jet / insert your personal choice for that one there, mode, and then fly out of it into your battle frame. So you can do that with a blade attack, so being able to do that is a bit more of advanced tech, but it's fun tech. Fire that there, reload, hold the lock on, check the radar. There they are. Want to boost there. Quickly do that there, swap our weapons. Go over here. Lock on. We can't allow the actual orbital elevators to take too much damage, as if they hit 30%, then we immediately lose the mission. Come on now. Fly up close. And now we're on to the second part of the mission. However, we do not get a actual checkpoint here. So we just need to boost ahead, get rid of all these, enjoy the cool graphics. I think, Mage, why aren't you just going for the main target? Same thing before about how we still need to get rid of these enemies even if the rest of them are gone. Even if the main target is gone. There it is. I'll position it just so I don't go too far down. Got to position just so we can get to it and deal with damage. You can see just like how hard it can be to actually align itself up to get that blade sliced in.
Ladies, gentlemen, well done. So, how's the new model? Like it? It's kind of tough to
Gonna fly up here, wait around, and just hang tight. Now we're gonna skip the cutscene and immediately start playing as Ilyana.
Lieutenant Yuliana
So
ZX-05
Ilyana is fun.
arrived at the combat area.
She gets a shield. The thing we lose out to is our ability to do a blade volley with the railgun. Her attack is just too slow. So we're gonna move here. We lock on, do there.
Protect the defending fleet and engage with the enemy.
There. She also does not have a combo attack, sadly.
Yes, sir.
Gonna go like that there. There. Gonna go there. Again, this is sort of we're defending stuff on that one. This is meant to show both sides of the war. Again, this is one of those things where you have to track stuff. And maybe it could look a bit easier, but it is not as easy as it seems. Control that there. Again, more momentum control than most things for this type of mission. Now, if you think this looks... I will say, though, the run itself is easy to learn, as it is done glitchless, but it is also one of those runs where it's got a high skill ceiling. There you are.
Enemy reinforcements comprise of 2 LCS ships. They're targeting our flagship. Assist.
What machine is this? Dragon's Eye here. We've never seen this model before.
So don't get the time save, as I believe you do save time if you can get rid of the reinforcements before the enemies before that. But it is also hard to be able to do that sometimes. But there we go. Sometimes the game does reward you if you get things done early. Sometimes it doesn't.
We did it! Thank
Oh god. For those anime, manga, mecha, you know, like mech game and every other fan, raise that giant red flag for the never say you're going to go home while you're on a battlefield for something like that. And of course, we're now finally going to be able to take a mission restart. We're going to swap to here. Boost forward. 2, 3, 4, 5. Fire there, fire there. Get this way. There, 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 there. Lock on. And essentially use the missiles at a point-blank range. Because, as I said, it is a lot easier to do that to essentially get full damage on an enemy. Gonna fly closely there. Yeah, but if we get rid of them all fast enough, it really doesn't matter. So, we've defended the fleet. We're now going to be playing as Andre, using Nova Booster, aka another Full Metal Panic reference. We're going to fly here. We're not going to attack anything just yet. We're going to do that there. Also, the Overbooster is a pain. But since the enemies will target us, we're going to basically let them. Missed the timing on that one there. Also, Andre does not have an actual sword, so we have to do this normally.
Let's see. They've got 3 capital ships on their side. 1 cruiser and 2 destroyers.
Fire there. Get there, there, there. We have enough damage to survive stuff. Really, I keep missing the shots with the giant laser gun. You'd figure I'd be able to do some stuff there. So we're gonna fly like this. There we go. We're supposed to be doing that with every enemy ship. Yeah. Aim, lock on. Gonna go like this there. Gonna take out this enemy here. Slowly aim so that way we get the guaranteed shot. Again, we're just gonna load and let them all lock onto us. Take that out. We have to take out basically every enemy on screen. Essentially, we just need to just take it all out. Some of them a lot harder to deal damage with certain weapons. So the other moves there. So just gonna move here. Slowly swap those. Yep, gonna line up there, 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 there. Reload, reload. Lock on and let him fire, fly towards Ande. Multi-lock on. Control momentum again. Drop down here. Lock on. Yep. Now we gotta take out the rest of the enemies. Now, because we missed some of those shots earlier, it makes it a lot harder to finish this mission before the reinforcements get here. As this is actually one of the missions where you can finish early. But it's also very hard to actually do that when you miss shots. Reload here. Boost close. Now that we don't have to deal with the one thing, with the overbooster, it makes it a lot easier. So we got rid of that there. There is a different message if you actually manage to take out all the enemies before our reinforcements show up. However, it looks like we aren't going to be getting that congrats message today. Here we go. Fire that there. Rock on there. Rock on, move there. As I said, we won't be getting that because of the missed shots there, but, and trust me, this does hurt my own pride as a speedrunner of this game. It really does on that one there, but sometimes there's nothing you can do. Yes. The high performance battle frames do still possess a threat, as they said. There we go. Although, considering how annoying they were to me, let's let this one... I was gonna be nice and show you the fact of what happens when you annoy me in this game. But, yeah, we got through. This run in and of itself is all about just maintaining things. Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters! So now we just have to wait for the fade out. Skip the cutscene. Now they give us a choice between Ileana and Andrea. We're taking Andrea.
Commence mission.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Drop all the funnels. This is namely purely due to the first thing. Let's line up here. 3, 4. There we go. Reload. Swap over to here. This is the only example of the consistent clip in the game. And that's because of the fact that the game locks us from going up too high. And because of that, we can get pushed under the collision to be able to set up stuff. As the game is saying, we're going to take out the basis facilities, which is all the purple targets. These actually are random to some degree. And you can just see how sometimes the game does not want to count stuff when you are targeting it with the railgun. Some battle frames. So positioning perfectly means we will be able to actually use the railgun. But if we can't get to it, then it's best to just use the if we can't get to it with a shot like this, then it's best to just use the missiles and normal guns. As you can see here, how the game will not register some of it, like I said. I'm gonna move over here slowly. Do that there. Overkill that, just because I feel like it. And because sometimes it annoys me. Especially with this mission. Get rid of that one there. Reload, reload, reload. Get lucky on the fact of the last few being over here. Because this is the furthest thing. We have to actually take out some ICBM launchers. And because the furthest one is here, we want to try to finish it, those off near it, so we don't have to actually come back over here. So we can't really try to go down a bit on the, we don't want to fly down to the, into the water because water effects. Yeah. But I've also got to control things. Come on. Again, damage versus visibility. Which I have to say is probably going to become more of a thing, you know, in future speedruns for a lot of different games. So follow the purple targets. And this is not a, this does not give you a checkpoint either, I might add, so. This is all pure on remembering where things are and control. Actual, mech control. And I know that's behind me. I'm not going to cheat, not say cheat, but try and rotate the camera. Well, use the 180-degree button because of the way I was facing. It would probably not be the best. And we're going to drop some of the things here just so we can avoid stuff.
We can do this, right? Colonel!
Going to fire that there. One shot each of these. Essentially, it's pretty easy to survive this part. Just got to make sure you have enough health. And we're just going to take them out slowly, because it takes one shot to take them all, take each one out. However, we also want to use our missiles where we can, because it does allow us to multi-target them. And this is also one of the times where we will use our guns. Make sure to not get things locked onto the enemies themselves. You'd figure they would actually want to stop these once they're being fired. And they'd stop worrying about us if they notice we're actually trying to help them. Gonna lock onto some more of these, just trying to go through there. Fire the sniper rifle, well, the railgun. And we've got through. And it's not worth trying to change the momentum and other stuff based on a lot of different things. Now remember that mission I was showing you at the beginning? Bird of Peace? We've reached it. This is a true test of skill. So we've got to fire those to start. This mission is very much a pain in the arse.
So that's the Bird of Peace, huh?
This is too ironic.
In fact, it's the type of mission where if you do not get this, you will immediately do a restart. Because this, them telling it's faster than us is honest. So the fact of the matter of it being faster than us, again, also you get to see one of the cool audio glitches in this game. This doesn't really speed things up, but at the same point, again, this is more about purely just trying to keep that thing on screen. And again, trying to make sure I keep it on screen and keep it to be able to see it. Missing some very good, interesting conversations because of that. Want to keep going at it. Come on now. In fact, like I said, this mission is a pain. Because ideally you want to just make sure you don't lose track of it. And you may think this is one of the main reasons why Liliana is used for this mission. There we go. Now all we just have to do is mop up. Which we have some enemy units that help show up for random reasons. One of the positive things about this game is it was actually one of those Kickstarter games that actually did succeed. In fact, any enemy named pilot is actually a Kickstarter backer at a certain tier. Although I did not back this one, the reason I know this is because of the credits. And we got it through! Took 1 or 2 resets, but trust me, that mission can get a lot hairier if you do that. You want Andrea here?
Colonel.
Oh no, wait. Picked the wrong unit. Yes, Road, I can do a... No. It's going to be faster to do that one with Liliana. The game does not let you go back on that one there, sadly. Gotta love when you make dumb mistakes. Oh, oops, I skipped it. Well, now, this is gonna be annoying if I have to submit this as a PB. Hate that. I hate when I make dumb mistakes, too. But, it's not like I don't practice this run a decent amount. I do.
Find your own answer to that question, Liliana.
Why do we fight? That is a very, 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 very loaded question.
Military transport aircrafts detected in enemy formation. They're heading for the mass driver.
This probably will be a PB technically because my current one has a death in it. So we're just going to wait here for the enemies to spawn. And then we're just going to fly towards it because all we have to do is take out the transports early on. This is why Liliana is good, because although the fact that Andrea can take them out faster with his gun, the problem is that they also don't... essentially, there is a second part to this mission, so... We're going to fly close, lock on. So we target the transport planes alone. We don't really need to get rid of all of them. It just makes it the second part of this mission a bit faster. Also get to see Liliana's actual shield. Which is useful later on. But since all you have to worry about for now is the transport planes, that's because they will drop ground targets, and we can't really proceed to the next mission, part of the mission, until they are all gone. Again, line up so we can actually have the blade hit. Line up so that the blade does hit. You can hear the actual way it sounds when it does hit. There we go for there. Now we got more transport planes to get rid of. Line up perfectly there, like I said. I wasn't joking about how camera control actually does affect the speedrun. Because one of the things most people don't realize in an actual tank control style game, especially if you have the ability to have full camera control, that can affect how things are, that affects how actual hitboxes are.
As you might have noticed, our ground force is
So we're going to take care of these.
We don't think they can hold much longer. Don't let the enemy's ground force reach the mech.
We're going to have to do that there. Position just so. Get rid of all those there. Get rid of this. This is why we get rid of the transport planes, so that there's less of them around. So we're gonna just fly close. Fly over here. Reload. And start taking out the rest of the enemies. Yep. Now we just need to get rid of the rest of the enemies in here. We'll go like that there. Load again. Again. That actually does, as I said, control the camera. Let's take it. But the way the hitbox, yeah. God, I can't really talk that well while doing this. Also, shout out to the Danger Rangers, who I've been told is a reference to an old video game. Never heard of it, though. Lock on. Get rid of them. And once we've gotten all the enemies down, and the timer runs down, the space shuttle will launch, and then we'll be into the second part of the mission. Considering how bad I've been playing this one, this is not going to be a nice run. It should be way further ahead. But it happens. So just going to wait this one out.
SSTO is launching in 3,
2,
2,
1.
launch.
And now we're going to actually take a restart like usual. Nice thing is this sets us up right in front of the enemies we need to get rid of. Take out the Grim Reaper. And take those out there. No, I could do a lot more. I'm being nice to ya. And no. And so we're just gonna fly in close. Take them out there. Reload there. Lock on. Use that to help us with maneuvering. Because if we lock on, since we don't have to automatically lock on with that with our with our normal missiles, it makes it a lot easier to move with the blade. So we're gonna fire that out,
At least, I'll avoid firing at the cockpit block. Okay?
Now we're gonna lock onto all these
Destroy all marked targets. Be careful of enemy
and
high
use
defense
our
and
momentum here to control things. Move this way. Remember when they said they needed to contact a certain mercenary unit?
Funnels deployed.
Well, yeah. I don't mean that in a negative way. Just more of a, that's the reason why we're here. And now we have to take out all the ground targets. Even though they don't say that they're all listed as a ground target. They count towards there. You can't just get rid of all of them. This mission's also a pain in the ass. The ground, not ground.
shall be easy to take out from long range with our railguns.
Yeah, Ingrid. Tell that to the actual camera and hitboxes. Because it does not like to work out without positioned properly.
Enemy reinforcements detected. Prepare to engage.
This game is very fun, as is its sequel, although a sequel does definitely need more eyes on it, and definitely need more people to pester the devs to fix a few glaring issues. Case in point, the fact that the game can crash just by changing your controls.
S-47s. They have
Yeah, its sequel's got problems.
use funnels, railguns, and missiles to take them out.
I want to lock on.
Battle frame's damage is at 30%.
Yes, right. Line up. Move here. Line up here. Use our guns as we fly away. Use our blades plus our other stuff to basically make it a lot easier. Fly along here. I will point out, if no one paid attention earlier, that I am actually playing this in essentially 120 FPS. Oh, to be fair, over 120 FPS, because the game allows you to do that at an uncapped frame rate. And I have a 144 FPS monitor, but God, I can't wait to see how, stuff like this will be affected with the Switch too. Now, something like this, we need to actually make sure we position perfectly so that way we don't get a face full of missiles. Fly over this way, reload there. As we hover over, we're going to fly to get rid of all these. This is also one of the missions that is great for learning about how useful just the multi-lock on can be for finding things. Because the fact that it is a bit harder to see some of the stuff makes it so that way this letting you use the lock-ons as a visual cue just really helps. There we go for that there. Again, the game is finicky. Fun, but finicky. Now that we've got that taken care of, we're going to reload.
Funnels deployed.
Drop our funnels. Trust me, part of the reason why I'm using the manually turning versus the other stuff is so it is a lot easier to track things. There we go. Oh, you. There we go. Reload, reload.
Enemy reinforcements detected.
There we go.
Prepare to engage.
Yep, wants those there. As I said, we need to take out all these ground targets. I'm sorry if I'm being a little quiet on that one. It's because trying to make sure visually I can see where things are.
Funnels deployed.
And now, let's see any other ground targets? Probably, but again. Let's see here, where's the last of them? Over there. Okay, we'll avoid that. Get the ship. Avoid the missiles, since they deal a lot of damage to us. Quickly reload and swap our guns while moving. As I said, this is one of those times where it's just better to actually take advantage of where we are
We're detecting a SAR
versus
flight
just
cruise escort
trying
approaching
to
combat area.
fight things normally.
The largest ship in the UCN arsenal. Prepare yourself.
So we're now going to take another mission restart, take it reload, take a refill. Technically you could do this without it, but it is sometimes faster to just deal with the problem. And also the free reload is very good. Also health and other stuff. Now we do have a purple target here, but we still have to take out the other enemy units as well. And as much as I want to go in for the actual blade, the biggest problem is they launch a lot of missiles. And if positioned improperly, you can take a direct full missile volley to the face, and that can straight up kill you. Like, that's being very risky there. Quickly move there, there, railgun. It's below us, so we're gonna line up our shots so it hits them. Do that there, slide around with momentum, lock on. Slide underneath here. Hit a full volley there. We want to avoid being right in front of it, because if we are right in front of it, like I said, we can take and immediately volley to the face and immediately die. That means we would have to take out the entire second part of the mission and all three of those carriers again. Getting close, so it takes care of that. And we good there.
All targets neutralized. I'm going back.
Now, for those that are actually watching this,
Enemy battle frame coming
well,
at very
I won't
high
spoil it
speed.
yet.
Wait. This is... There's no time to withdraw from the combat area. Prepare yourself for an immediate high-speed dogfight.
And we'll take a restart again. Now we have to fight Andrea, who will immediately come behind us. So we want to flip that there. Missiles on that one there. Fire slowly. Actually, let our momentum carry it so that way our shots line up perfectly.
Mirai's neuron control system is flooded by incoming data.
Line up perfectly there.
From where? That red battle frame?
There's something strange happening to your battle.
Listen, the enemy's battle frames are quick.
Move away from that there, so that way we do not get the giant laser to the face. Yes.
With only one hit. You can hear and see the laser cannon charging around 1 second before it's firing.
We want to avoid that one there, because that automatically is a, let's just say that will kill us.
Remind me of someone I care about.
Go back. I don't want to kill.
As you can see, I barely am alive because of that there.
See what you have done. You'll do it again. That means I'll have to shoot you down.
And that's hopefully the only time I'll take a death in this run. Luckily, that restart counts as a checkpoint, so we're good there.
Overbooster exhausted.
That's a fun fact. If they fired that one and didn't let it go, you sometimes do get some interesting graphic glitches.
Morgan,
The AI's neuron control system is overflooded by incoming data. But from where? That red battle frame's equipped with an anti-ship particle cannon. It's very dangerous. That weapon will disable you.
Avoided it. So there we go for there.
He's firing the particle
I
cannon.
see. Memories. How is this voice
Got a
coming
good
in?
full missile volley.
The pilot of that white battle plane. A girl? You remind me of someone I care about.
Yes, Ileana.
I don't want to kill.
Don't you see what you have done? You'll do it.
Gonna avoid this so that way we don't die.
I have to shoot you down. I see. You're the one that shot Juliana down in Hong Kong. It was a miracle that she wasn't hurt. But some of us subordinates were not as lucky.
As you can clearly see, as long as we avoid the particle cannon, we're good. There we go. For those here, put an F in chat for Andrea.
We can just talk to each other without all this meaningless hatred dividing us. There'd be no war to speak of.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth?
Colonel Andy is down. I'll say again. Colonel Andy is down.
Target. Battle frame is disabled. Cannot detect life signal in cockpit. Is it me?
Ingrid, how we doing?
I'm afraid we cannot leave the combat area yet. We're detecting another battle frame approaching at very high speed. This one is also a
Sadly, it's Ileana, and we have to now fight Mirai. Also, shoutouts to the swirling laser that still exists. Doesn't have a hitbox though, but still a fun thing. Ironically, if we were to exit out and restart this mission, this particular one, since this is part 2, we would actually have to launch as Ileana, unlike just starting in there. Now,
Right.
we're going to get ready for this. Mirai is going to spawn in front of us. It's always going to be a little little in front of us and to the left slightly, no matter where we are. So, just finding a good spot to be where we can just launch our stuff and make sure we're safe. Now, there's a lot of little things we can do. We're just gonna slowly line up stuff here. Lock on. Make sure we can directly deal damage to her. Use this. Loop around. And trigger phase 2. She is now, well, using that full, like, new type mode.
Everything you have done. I don't want to fight you. Can't you just
We gotta make sure that we're there. Ileana sort of being like the Char type character. Shoutouts to being so fast we got to avoid the music changing. Also, we now get auto healing for this battle. Ah, good. Took long enough that we get to hear some of this.
Target's reactor has come back to being fully operational. Now operating at 1/3.
We're gonna do this there.
What devil that we have been painfully fighting? Just cold for action of what it really is.
Right.
Sadness.
This is true.
We still can't stop killing each other.
Can't we all just get along? Oh, since I haven't shown the cockpit in a while, here's Juliana's. And you can see just like how, you know, it jerks around a bit on that one. It's one of the other reasons why it's better to use third person.
Defense system on Hardpoint 6 is ready.
So, we're now on to the third act of the game, and we'll go right into it. We're going to skip the melting of the mines in a sense between those two. Immediately start off. And immediately start heading this way.
There's so many of them. This is way more than usual.
Because we have to take out these these jamming devices. If you don't find that or don't know where they are, the game will eventually tell you where they are. But since we know where they are, it is just faster to go directly to them. They will always be in the same location. One towards the center, one toward, and then surrounding it in a diamond shape.
One jammer down. Ho, ho.
Also doing that immediately lets us know where they are.
Still a lot left, meaning that there are other devices. Acula squad. Find
We're
them
gonna
and
boost
shoot
on
them
this
all.
one there. Get close. Also, we're playing as a Kala free again, since the game does not tell us that originally. As there's no break between this and the last mission and this mission. Just perfectly there. Get close using our guns because we're in a Barrke now. Don't ask me the reference for that one there because I got no clue. There's 3 down. The last one is right over here. So we're gonna go lock on as we go through and boost on that one. Fire as much as we can, and while it's going there, we're slowly gonna use our momentum to shoot it down as fast as possible with our guns.
All jammers down.
So there we go.
All jammers down.
The war has gotten a bit more
Destroyed all the decoy systems.
fierce on that one there.
We're finally fighting them with even numbers.
Yep, now we just gotta go find them. Also, fun fact, if I did not have the graphics and the clouds actually set a certain way, this mission lags like no tomorrow. Another win for the game, for the Switch version. It does not have the lag here. It loses out on some of the frame rate, but it's still a give or take. Move precisely there. Move over here, there. Lock on. Use our missiles because we only have our normal guns and missiles. Reload while we're going towards them. And again, I know I'm not, you know, being as entertaining. But what do you want me to do? It's a serious style game. I can talk about all the mech references, and I have. Hopefully you're all enjoying things. Keep it locked on there, there. We're gonna slowly move up here. Lock onto one of them. Use some momentum again. So that way we lock on and it's a direct line of fire. Line up again. Use the range on that one there. Reload. Move over and around. Around and around. Here we go. Where we stop. Nobody knows. Again, that auto lock on from the missiles is just so useful when you have to manually target things. There we go. There we go for down here. So we're gonna go towards this enemy here. Now we can actually take this out. And now we're on to the second part.
We saw something strange.
So I have to go towards that dot.
Go there and check out what it is.
So we're gonna fly in early and down here so we avoid the mountains. as we have to be precisely on it to have the game count it.
Strange.
Now
There's
then,
nothing here.
we're gonna get the hell out of Dodge.
Okay, Ida, we have arrived
Because the
at
game's gonna
location.
tell us to
What's
get
next?
out of there anyway.
Please
As long
wait.
as we
We
know
are
that,
analyzing the situation.
we can immediately fly away.
Aquila squad, get
So we're
down,
gonna do
now!
that there, and just start getting out of here anyway.
All units, retreat! Get out of there, quickly!
So as long as we keep low,
Retreat to
we
the
can
safe
avoid
zone.
things.
You must not be flying higher than the valley. Don't let them aim at
Yeah,
you.
the game tells us that, but
The
it
flight
does
path
not
and the
force
black
us on
radius
that
of
one
the
there.
cannon are marked on the minimap. Stay far away from them if you want to leave.
So we're gonna go over here. We just have to get
Okay,
close
yeah.
to that one.
Is anyone
Unlike
there?
the last point, it will count that
You really need
as
a hero
being
after all.
close, as being good enough. So we're going straight into another mission of Ileana. However, we get a new battle frame.
The cannons in Yamato Fortress. will
This
try
was
to
designed
shoot
for
you from
Ande,
long distance.
but
To get
since he
close,
didn't get to
you
use
must
it,
be
we get to
flying
use
low.
it.
Use the mountains as a shield.
However, this one
We
has
must
some
destroy
very
the
unique
jammers
features.
first, so we can get
So
a
we're gonna
lock
fly
on
around
and
here.
attack Yamato cannon. The jammers are releasing their signal all around the battle area. I already marked them.
We have the gun now as well.
Please don't die, Lieutenant. We still need a hero for a long time after this.
Now, the nice thing is as long as we position perfectly, we can position things perfectly. Fun fact, this is one of the best, this actual battle frame has the best defense in the game.
Radar jammer has been
Because
destroyed.
we get that shield and the ability to maneuver.
All units proceed as planned. Our mission is to regain air superiority for the USAF.
If we send them out, they might get shot as well. Damn it! Why the hell did we build an airport if we can't use it?
Radar jammer has been destroyed.
Want to use all
Radar
that there.
jammer has been destroyed.
Now, we need to actually take care of actually not dying.
Been destroyed.
Those lasers,
Radar jammer has been
those
destroyed.
giant cannons can really do a number on us.
Radar jammer has been destroyed.
So, trying to actually make sure we
Radar jammer
can
has
track
been destroyed.
things is now very important.
The king has now entered the building.
So we all that one there, so
the
it'll
last
tell
radar
us
jammer is in the middle of Yamato Fortress network.
what he said.
This is the highest protected
So we're
jammer.
gonna use this.
Please be careful.
Earn our contract. Get to
How did it get this close? Release the
I will
drone.
be back. This is not even my final form.
Use that there.
That's the Yamato cannon. The cannon can't shoot if it's this close. Launch them!
Radar
Now we just
jammer
need to
has
get
been
rid of
destroyed.
all the cannons now.
This is Alpha 1. Those Russians have destroyed all radar jammers.
So we're just gonna take all out as fast as we can.
One red battle frame destroying our shit.
So we're gonna fire here, move this way, avoid the attack. Cannon. Use our own giant cannon to take out their giant cannon.
Entering the combat area.
We have to take out all the cannons as well as any remaining enemies. Because, of course, the game is going to say, yeah, we want you to get rid of everything. That includes even the turrets on the ground. Trust me, I have tried to see if there's a way to do it. There's a small time save on the second part, but that's also hard to track. Because you have to take out specifically one enemy, and knowing which one it is a lot harder than it seems. Just so I can do this, we're gonna do that there. Aim with the cannon, get rid of the cannon. Avoid things here. Slowly roll around it. Avoid that there. Go take out there, throw our funnels out so that way we can avoid some of the fire. Yeah, those funnels, they are very, very useful throughout the entirety of the run.
All of the
There we
cannons
go.
are destroyed. I repeat, all
Now all
of the
we have to get rid of is the actual other battle frames. This is where you also see a lot more of the backers' names. Either as their screen names or other stuff.
I'm done. Punching out.
And using the giant laser is just, I won't say satisfying, but like, it does have its benefits. It really does. Also, now Liliana does have a combo with her blade.
Enjoy your hot-fought victory. We will fight again.
Yeah, will we?
Damn it, repeat me. Fine. Who would treat us both?
I don't know if we ever see them again. So I don't know if you could say we will fight again. There's another one of you. Yes, you can try. But we need to make sure that we take out the, all the units, as I've said before, and I'll say it again. Hopefully you're all enjoying this. I know one thing I've personally been enjoying as a card gamer, as a fun fact, to more know about me, I've been enjoying the Final Fantasy spoilers for, the Magic the Gathering set. Still waiting on a second set.
After surviving so many meaningless fights, my time has come.
One of the things, you can tell if you've gotten every target because the music will change, which is a nice touch. As it makes for a good way to know that you're going into the second part. The second phase.
Fortress is already destroyed.
Although this time they give us an exact spot for that one. In this case, we're gonna take out that one there.
Isn't that the only battle frame there?
Stop pissing me off, please.
Now, getting the correct Skull Squad member is a pain.
Nemo is down.
What?
Because we only have to take out the leader, but it's hard to tell exactly which of it is. We have to just take out Mobius.
Seems like
There we go.
Be getting that dinner tonight.
Or worst case, take out the two of them.
You kidding me? Even that guy. What's with this monster?
You can just get rid of Mobius, but it's hard. But it's a 1 in 4 to figure out which it is. And memorizing that is one of those small details that like works, but it's sort of just like remembering so many other things that it's a choice of what is more important.
Who can I talk to? That's the problem, isn't it? I no longer have anyone. No one.
And here we find out Mirai still managed to be alive, but she is clinging on to life. So we're going to do that there. We're sort of in a, as the name says, comatose state. If we had waited for the cutscene to play out, she will be standing up. But that's slow, so you sort of want to pick a spot the tiniest bit here and there, so that way you get a semi-benefit of possibly having her stand up, and sometimes not. So we're just crawling forward, and she's having a bit of a mental, well, I won't say breakdown, but more of a, like, questioning, like, why am I fighting? Why? It's sort of the scene of Zero going, what are we fighting for? Into this state. She said this is her subconscious while she is lying in a hospital bed trying to heal from what happened. I will say, though, that you can die in this stage if you go too far to the left or the right. This is not an auto-scroller. If you look closely at the control side of stuff, you can see exactly where it is. We gotta skip a cutscene here. Now we're gonna slowly following the glowing
We must go to the shrine
ball.
on a mountain ahead. We don't have much time.
So
Follow me, quickly.
we're gonna position ourselves
Think you can turn away
in
from
such
what
a way
you've done?
that we don't
It won't be that easy.
have to deal with lag from the graphics,
Don't be afraid.
while also trying to move at a bit of an
Get out of
angle.
here for sure.
Because if we take too
Keep
long,
moving forward.
she will start crawling, and that is very slow. Now, there are some interesting achievements here for some stuff. Especially like seeing the memory of Andrea and pondering on his words. If we were to turn around, we would see an evil Mirai firing stuff at us, or at least charging to try. As long as we don't turn around, they won't fire at us. But just to give a quick, you know, see what's going on behind, we're gonna
Get out. Live on.
walk
Make
slowly.
things right.
And
Or
we're
stay here, drown
walking,
in
we're
guilt.
walking, we're walking. I like to think of that as water, and not what it might also be. I mean, it sounds like water, and I've got no
Neither
clue what
her
other
nor
stuff could
we
be.
can decide. You will be the one who decides.
And we walking, we walking, we walking. I know, not being as entertaining as I could, but this game is a little taxing on the mind here and there. And I haven't even gone technically new type mode. It's something I can technically do, but I'd want to actually use a different screen resolution on that one and take the less damage to be able to actually do full-blown stuff on it. But again, that is one interesting thing about DLSS and other stuff like that. Not only can it give you, less true frames, at higher frame rates, but also sometimes it can affect just like how hitboxes and other stuff line up. To say if something's at a native like 720 or 1080p, what happens when it's blown up? Is that hitbox adjusted, or is it still the same? So it really does beg the question about how those types of things affect speedruns. And the closer things are, it makes things bigger, which means the hitbox is more visible, and sort of allows for more overlapping things, because if it's smaller, it may have the same hitbox, but it's a bit harder to see. And by see, I mean like giant sword slash hitbox. Well, hit whatever thing is, but since you can't really tell where the hitbox is, then you might have actually missed it by a few pixels. Which is why also, when you use a sort of tank camera, this will let you turn immediately with stuff. I can still keep going that way, but the fact that it lurks so well that it's something you wouldn't think about. Also, we're now playing as Skull 1 again.
To go out again despite just coming back here.
Shoutouts
Since
to
only 2 of you remain. No.
the original Super Dimensional Fortress Macross.
It's become really quiet.
That's because this is almost a, well, not a direct reference to the original, but the slowly going up,
They have at you.
with the pilots.
Sound very different than usual, right?
Although I believe it is Rick and not Roy on that one, but just it's the same as where attack's opening. It's just slowly going up the giant aircraft carrier slash SDF-1
I thought you guys didn't
with
like
the
each other.
music going, and this is just such a huge reference to that, in my opinion.
Alright. Don't come back dead then. We have curry and hamburger steak this evening.
And we're getting ready to launch. Ready for takeoff. So immediately I'm going to hold the boost in,
Wave attack forces will be lightly equipped
angle
battle frames.
upwards to the sky,
Use them as a warm-up exercise.
and get ready for the next thing. Let go of this one so we have the boost to go on that one, then we're going to go again. You can see my notes for this mission. In big bold letters, it is "Don't die."
Alright, here they come. Skull Squadron, engage.
So we're gonna get in close, lock up the missiles again.
Please enter the combat area. Avoid aerial combat in the city area.
And just go like that, there. And immediately start going through all the enemies. Because this is one of those things, it's like we need to get rid of all the enemies here. Well, most of them. There's certain ones we do have to get rid of during the second phase. So say hi to more of the Kickstarter backers. Going like that again.
Hostile contacts confirmed. Entering
Fire there. Move there. Also say hi to Apollo 3. I don't know if they survive or not, sadly.
Dracula 1, I know what you're thinking. Do not get near a flying city. You're temporarily in Aquila 3's formation.
Yes.
So they can do horrible things to us, but we can't do the same to them.
Be the better person.
Aquila 1, you stay in Aquila 3's formation.
Be the better person.
Is approaching. That's 47 Barrke. Wait. When you're engaging this model, do not get
Gonna
close.
go like this. Position perfectly.
Down with only one hit.
Yeah, we can get close. Provided we're taking them out at the same time, we don't care, really. Launch some of our evasion. Get a full volley there. Just so. Now you can do things completely manually without locking on at all. But it is a pain to actually make sure the damage got hit.
He was being sarcastic.
Fantastic.
Don't play stupid. You fought one before. Don't get close. Use hit and run tactics, or else.
Yeah, we don't really need to do that.
Good. We've still got some turrets standing.
We don't need to do that on gamer. Prepare to die mode, yes. As you can see, just like how hard it is to make sure that you get to the proper spots. Gonna go like that there. Lock in close. Lock and load. Lock and load. Getting close. Again, the closer we are, the higher the damage value. There's a few left. We're gonna go like that there. Fly in close. There we go. They're super far away, but gonna go like that there. Again. Fly up, use our blade. Reload that while we're going there. Line up perfectly there. There. Load again. And let's find those last enemies. Nothing on radar. But since the game has not said, hey, we've got an order change, I know there is still at least one left. Because hit and run tactics, when you have a giant mech, is very good. Now we have to take out some actual missiles. Ironically, you can still survive this.
This movement pattern.
Even if they, even if you do nothing, at least on gamer mode. However, it does take too long to just do that.
That's a real swarm, right? Stay cool and intercept all of them.
So we just want to get rid of as many of them as we can. because ironically we won't be able to get them all. Also reload that so I can keep firing at them. Essentially, we want to take out as many as we can without having to let that many go by. Said we won't be able to get them all.
All missiles intercepted.
At least we personally won't.
There's another one.
But there will be more.
Holy shit! Stay calm, Squadron! Oh!
You need to remain calm, sir.
Sorry about the language. Remember, team-rated game. And for those that have ever seen the actual, God, what counts as a PG-13 game, hold on, PG-13, PG-13 movie, yeah. And now we got Mariah again.
Decision. Don't worry, sir. We are on
We're gonna fly over here because there is some of the missiles, that one there. But now we've got a slightly better and worse actual battle frame. We no longer have our regular missiles. Missiles will spawn up here. So we need to go up here.
Recovered, and this is your first time piloting this frame. You sure you're okay?
What the game gives us instead is now homing lasers, which are not the best. So we're gonna fly in close. Lock on. Use our homing missiles. We still have those. We don't have the normal missiles though. The homing lasers are fun, but they just don't pack the input. Not input. It acts as much of a impact as we should.
Coming from above.
Reload, reload. Fire those there. Drop some of the decoys, just because it makes it a lot easier to hopefully scramble the enemy's programming. Not programming, but the God, what's the term? God, I forget what the term is. It's not programming, it's targeting system. That's it. Lock onto that one's there. Fire those there. Get rid of them. Fly over here. Dodge left and right. Boost. Nice thing is that we now have like nearly unlimited boost. Gotta have that mid-season refresh for
why and how did you come
you know,
here?
a lot of different mech enemies.
Well, sir, about that.
To think that we're just some small part of a complex system, having to blindly follow orders given to us. It's kind of...
It does actually give some interesting things when you look at it eventually.
But we
So
are
we're gonna
not
like
just a part of
that.
something.
Lock
We
on.
are all human.
Yes,
And
we are.
we can choose to create a future we want. The future
Fire all
we
those
dream
there.
of. The future we strive to make a reality.
I'm gonna need to get a drink soon.
That's our answer, sir. We fight to create the future we want to see.
We have enough to basically let all these things just hit the base and still survive, but
You'll act even without our orders. Or even
we
go
sort
so
of
far
don't
to
have
go
to care
against
as
our
much,
orders.
but we still do.
Right.
I'm afraid the answer will be yes, sir.
Let's see. Lieutenant Colonel Esmeralda Ingrid, I fear that one day
line
we're
up
going to
stuff.
cross paths on this battlefield. I'd like to warn you now. When that day comes, the United States Air Force will show you no mercy.
Reload there. Find next target. Drop down here. Launch things here. The one nice thing is that the funnels do help with targeting things. And now that we've gotten most of the actual
All
target
missiles intercepted.
and missiles, we get.
This is incredible, Mirai.
I need a drink
Morgan,
of water.
you just saved so many lives.
Although the operation is not a success, we have avoided the ultimate tragedy. Katyusha, this is Oke Irel. Then you are to be court-martialed as soon as you return. After the war ends, you're going to court as a war criminal as well, sir.
And now I need to do the one thing because of Twitch representing God, what is it? The one possible copyright in this game, and that is the fact of Ride of the Valkyries.
What's background music?
Because for some reason, if it's not a particular version, it will trigger that, and you just gotta be able to hear me. Although, ironically, it does not happen on YouTube.
Battle frames. Clear the path before we start the next phase.
The reason I know that is because the other runner of this game, who has the world record for casual, has it on YouTube, and this part that's still intact. So sorry, you don't get to hear the da 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 da. You know, the very famous piece that's usually used for those type of sections. Now, we need to actually get rid of as many enemies as possible to let the chopper come in and rescue the prisoner. I won't spoil who it is, but it's smart enough to actually get rid of as many enemies as we can, because this is a very dangerous mission. So the more enemies we don't have to deal with during the second part, the easier it can be. When we have to have to protect the helicopter. A helicopter with no weapons that is on the ground.
Looks
so
like
the more targets we get rid of, the
Begin
better it
phase
is for
2 of
us.
the operation.
Hey, Matt. Why are you sitting on the helmet? So I don't get shot in the crotch. Man, this is awesome!
But just imagine this with that epic score, you know, and you can see why it's actually a both fun but annoying mission.
Suffering is inevitable. All who live suffer.
I'm gonna drop the decoys around here, so any missiles launched at the helicopter get targeted there instead.
So then, I will be the one to cut those hands down.
Because we need to keep them alive, and well, this is a pain to do.
I acknowledge you, Destroyer!
So we're gonna keep the helicopter alive, as you can tell, like just how much damage it's taking right now. And we need to make sure it survives. As although the game does not tell you, there is a secondary checkpoint in this actual mission, apart from the checkpoint it tells, the checkpoint you do learn about because of a cutscene. And I actually found that out because of practice. This is why I practice late game, folks.
Decoys ready. Psychodrone is now usable. Funnels deployed. Smart missile ready.
Just drop some of the decoys again and just camped up out of the helicopter. Lock on where we can. Get rid of every enemy that's close by. Fire that
This
is
is
there.
Shorebird. We have arrived at the target building.
There we go.
All right, ladies, time to move.
Great. Protect the Shorebird while they are standing by.
Go, go, go. Blue team, you're with me. Red team, check the other side.
There we go for that there. Get rid of them.
This building is so freaking huge.
Go like that
Now
there.
where is that sonar
Decoys
going?
again.
I told you not to bring useless stuff. Stop acting like that blue robot cat thing.
AKA Doraemon!
Contact in here!
Again, we want to rotate, just get as much as we can on there. Lock on. Aim for there.
This is Alpha Team. We're fighting enemies at the staircase. Which staircase?
Again,
Which one is it?
lock
Be more
on.
specific.
Be precise. And even then, just get rid of all of them so that way this thing does not die. Make sure the enemy's AI does not have a good target lock on it. Post some chaff around it, and it's good. Just gonna go like this here. Rotate here. Move there. And make sure that everything is good. Quickly change there so that we have the decoys again. Slide her down. And again. And drop them again. Swap there. There. Quickly reload that since we have the time for it.
I think we found a package. Use the flashbang. Bridge and clear. Go, go, go!
Go like that there. Fire the homing lasers.
VIP secured.
The one nice thing about it is, although it does not let us use a proper volley with our blade, it still is good for damage dealing.
Leave him. He's dead. No, we go together. No one gets left behind.
He's dead, Jim. To use the old Star Trek line. He's dead, Jim. Although I don't think he's dead. But we never find out. Sadly. Again, although the game doesn't tell you, there is an actual checkpoint coming up. Fun fact, even if I didn't have the music off, dying here will actually cause it to not continue the music until the next section. Yeah. So we're just gonna go like this.
Hey, we got the VIP!
Yay!
Mithram, he said he wants to speak to you. Should we tell you who he is? Look, the VIP got shot. Don't worry about me.
Yep, it's President.
Is that President Sean Soloway, sir?
That voice. Lieutenant
So
Colonel Ingrid from Mithram, aren't you?
now we could take a mission restart here and be on the second part of it, but
Mirai, sir.
we're not gonna do that.
You've rescued me.
Although, as I said, if the helicopter dies here, we will start at this part of the mission.
They are... Hey, aren't these the guys who escorted Air Force One and took down the Patriot? Are you kidding me? This is all of them? Unbelievable!
Oh.
We're suddenly quite famous, aren't we?
Yes,
You're
you
talking
are.
way too much.
Sometimes you just gotta love the banter between things. And it's almost clear, almost clear. This mission's all about just getting rid of things fast and making sure that the that the helicopter can get spawned fast. That's all we can do for now. Is just make sure things just don't die.
This is Shorebird. We have left the combat area. Thanks for the assist.
Good. Now that they've left the combat area, I can put the music back on for y'all.
Detecting
There we
energy
go.
buildup. Wait, where is this coming from? Under the water? Mirai, Morgan, something is approaching from below the sea. Prepare for combat.
Can you hear
Although
me,
I don't need to take it, I will be taking it so that way we are facing the enemy.
You will wish for death, and I shall grant it.
Mirai, Morgan, we have no information on this battle frame. Don't get too
Getting
close to
close?
it. Watch for its attack
Well,
patterns.
we're going to get in close.
Eliminate! Eliminate! Eliminate!
Even though it prevents us from moving,
Wish for death.
we sort of don't care as long as we're taking it out.
I will destroy all.
Vector drones. Morgan, Mirai, that weapon will slow down your battle frame. Don't let it catch
Yeah.
you. If all of them lock onto you at
Ingrid.
once, you will be immobilized.
Humans, suffer the torments you so freely inflict.
Yeah.
Fail to destroy the target. Re-engaging.
Yeah.
Birth.
But
Life. Death. All things must come to an end.
again, the best defense is a good
I finally
offense
got
here.
the intel. XJPH-1 Anapanasti is a weapon project created in the 2040s. It is a weapon platform controlled by a sentient AI, capable
What's
of
sad
learning
is that
and
is
evolving
actually
itself.
becoming
It seems
close
like
to
it was shut down and went into hibernation
time.
during war.
Dear God.
It was recently
makes me feel
recovered by the
old.
children of fallen nations and refurbished with modern weapons and engine drives, but the core of the AI remained the same. The same one used by the United States Ministry of Defense during the War of the Old World Nations. It must have been suffering
Because World
all
War
this
III.
time. Something built by humans, abandoned and destroyed by the very thing it sacrificed itself for.
No hope. No future.
So we're getting into the home stretch.
This is the USS Guardian.
Line up. 1,
It's an
2,
honor to
3,
accompany our war
4,
heroes.
5,
We are
6,
currently
7,
waiting
8,
at the rendezvous point.
9.
Unbelievable. The president was actually able to order a ceasefire. Yes.
Yep, we want to
We will escort him to the 7th
so we
Fleet,
can get to the
so
center.
we can begin the peace procedures. We lost a lot of good people. Wait a minute.
As soon
Where
as
is
we
the
get to that
7th
one,
Fleet?
immediately we'll skip any
This
remaining
is the rendezvous
dialogue.
point. The ships and radar are... nothing?
Which is something we really want to do.
Show them no mercy. They
So we
deserve
want
no
to take
quarter.
We're
out these
detecting a
ships.
radar signature in front of us. But these IFF, that's the UCN Pacific Fleet. Dragon's Eyes, respond. USS
Yeah,
Takao to AWACS, Dragon's
Dragon's
Eyes,
Eyes.
please respond. Connection lost?
This isn't just
This
here.
isn't good. All units prepare for combat
isn't
against the UCN Pacific Fleet.
Now we just
Morgan,
have to survive
protect
and
the
take
cow.
out all the enemies
Don't
here.
let us out of your sight.
Yeah, well, we're going to let you out of our sight because you aren't leaving the battle area, so we sort of can't let you out of our sight. This is where you almost wish you had the
Petersburg
other
class
stuff,
corvette sunk.
because we want to take out all these ships as fast as possible. Lock on again. Resistant again. Lock and load. Move around so that we are in the proper space for the hitbox. Because again, needing to be perfect on that one there.
Flagship Vladimir Putin sunk.
Yeah. Gotta lock on. The one nice thing about the Switch version here is that a lot of these clouds aren't present, so you can track a lot easier, as I've said. So, gonna launch our funnels, launch our smart missiles, use the fact that now we only have targeting that we have homing lasers to help with tracking enemies. Again, not as good on damage output, but great for crowd control. Nice enough, we still get the railgun. Reload there. Fire our lock-ons. Fire the funnels. Resistant again. Slowly line up. Momentum control again. This late in, if I haven't mentioned it before, one of the things you do have to be aware of is there's different momentum for each of the different units.
Petersburg class corvette sunk.
Because the, as I said, each of the things actually does matter on that one, and it's one of the reasons why you see me actually have my sensitivity the way it is, because camera sensitivity and controlling things on that one. If you notice the way I'm facing, since it also rotates the unit itself, that's actually one of the things you don't normally think about in these type of games, but when you can actually see it in action, it does make it a bit more understandable. So gotta hope that this game actually gets dual mouse support for the Switch too. A lot of action games deserve that kind of stuff. Having the ability to be more pinpoint precise, these type of things really does help action game runners. Move there, slide over here, fire there, up here. Slide to the left, boost to the right.
Petersburg-class corvette sunk.
Slide in close.
The flagship
Use the
escorts
triple
have entered the
attack.
area. Petersburg-class corvette sunk.
Avoid hitting directly because I do not want to die. And once we get to this part, we still haven't got a checkpoint. And that does deal a lot.
Class destroyers approaching. Wait a minute. These IFF, they're on our side.
Identify friend and foe for those that don't know what that stands for.
This is Admiral Zukov. We want to stop this bloodshed.
Yes.
We will not listen to a commander who is willing to take innocent lives. Admiral Zukov.
Just like that. Whoop! RIP PV! Yay. That is legitimately something I had happen in my current
This
PV.
is the USS Guardian.
And that's literally the bulk of the estimates, so yeah. But there we go.
The president was actually able to order a ceasefire. Yes.
Still
we will escort him to the
technically
7th Fleet,
PV
so we
possible,
can begin
but
the peace procedures.
that is a time
We
loss,
lost
a big
lot of
one.
good people.
Good. Maintain formation.
We're gonna fly down here. Set up for when they spawn. Gonna wait. Come on.
Wait a minute.
We were
Where is
already
the
there,
7th Fleet?
thank you.
This
Game.
is the rendezvous point. The ships and radar are...
We were at the rendezvous point
Nothing?
already, so apparently we have to stick around to it.
Show them no mercy. They deserve no quarter.
We're
let's get
detecting
to
a
see
radar
some fun
signature in
stuff.
front of us.
Okay.
But these IFF...
Guys, don't want to go out
That's the UCN Pacific
just yet.
Fleet. Dragon's Eyes, respond. USS Takao to AWACS, Dragon's Eyes. Please respond. Connection
that there.
lost.
Flying
This isn't
close.
good. All units prepare for combat against the UCN Pacific Fleet. Morgan, protect the
Come
Takao.
on.
Don't let us out of your sight. Corvette sunk.
Just need to keep on locking on and go fast. Fly fast, hit hard. Lock on to the enemies we need to. Just in here. Over here. Just in here. We're gonna go here, take them out. Fire those there, making sure we can get rid of this unit. Position perfectly, as I said. Gotta go like this. Go like this here. Aim and slowly move. Slowly get close. Make sure that if we can't hit them, we get close enough to hit them.
Flagship Vladimir Putin sunk.
Again, positioning perfectly on that one there is key for this mission. As you can see, just like how quickly I took a wipe earlier. It's all in the control. Fly there, so the control there. Line up here. Technically, we do have the Russians helping us in the second half of the mission, So Juliana will be here. So that's what we're gonna do. Gonna use our funnels directly there. Fly perfectly there. Line up.
Class Corvette sunk.
Yes. And in this case, we're gonna fly closely enough to fire at them and have the things hit fast, but not close enough that we take a large hit. So this mission is very time consuming, as you can clearly see. Gonna go like this. Easy enough. Come on. Take out the big guns, basically. Position just so. Position just here. Fire there, there, there. Move over here. Lock onto all of them. Position just here because we now have some higher damage dealing weapons. As you can see just how fast the ships are going down. Luckily there is a checkpoint in this stage, but it's deep in. So we just gotta make sure we don't die.
The flagship and its escorts have entered the area.
Hold on to your leaves.
Fire that there, move up here, we're gonna slide over here. This. Fire it like that there, move there.
Additional
Set up the
Kilo
rear
class
gun.
destroyers approaching. Wait a minute.
The IFF saying they're on our side.
They're on our side.
What's the meaning of this? This is Admiral
Yeah.
Zukov. We want to
Listen
stop
there.
this bloodshed.
As you can see, just like how much damage it can
Listen
deal
to
to
a
us.
commander who is willing to take innocent lives. Admiral Zukov, General Anton, you are betraying your home.
Land. No.
Kadyusha, where do you think your loyalty lies? Is it with the army, the government, your ideals, or just your pathetic warrior's honor? If this does not lie with the people, the very lifeblood of our nation, then we are in disagreement. This is AWACS
Gonna stay away from there.
or Eagle's Eye in your mother tongue. Mithril's pilot, please listen to us.
Gonna go like that there.
Lieutenant Colonel Ingrid, if you seek
And avoid
peace,
a lot of
then
that
we are
damage
on
because
the
we don't
same
want to
side.
die here. And those missiles can just take us out very fast.
Miss Juliana, are you there? If you can hear this, please answer me.
Juliana Alexandra.
Gonna get this.
ZX-08. But it's Chi. Engage.
Gonna take that out. So that way we get to the next set. Didn't we already take it out?
Class cruiser sunk.
I clearly remember Ingrid saying we took it out. Gonna fire there, slowly take out that enemy. Slowly bring ourselves close to this one. Again, using multi lock on to find enemies, so that way we can take them out fast enough.
The Seventh Fleet is right in front of us.
The 7th Fleet?
USS Takao to AWACS Dragon Eyes. If you can hear this, please respond.
Respond.
We cannot contact you. USS Takao.
This is a private transmission to Mithril. Listen, do not approach the 7th Fleet. I repeat, do not approach the 7th Fleet. General Renaud cannot be trusted. Do not trust General Renaud. Leave the area immediately.
And since that cutscene does signify we do have a checkpoint now. So now we'll immediately face them.
You will all have to die here. All 7th Fleet units, eliminate the Russians and the traitors.
So that's what this is. You wanted to use the UCN to kill us and the president, so you could sow the flames of war, leading the nation to pour all of its resources into destroying the UCN.
And now that we have a full health back, I can be a bit more, well, let's say courageous with what I'm doing. Again, lining up for the hits. Because as you can clearly see, it's just a pain to aim sometimes. All about the control. There we go for that there. You hit that one up. Swap over to the lasers. Move up here. We still have to get to the ships. Next set of ships, I should state. Again, say hi to some of the patrons, not patron, the actual Kickstarter supporters.
Well done.
The flagship of the 7th
There we
Fleet
go.
is the USS Enterprise carrier. If we can
This
sink
is not
that
the
ship,
NCC
we can put a
1701.
lot of enemy battle frames out of action.
What is this, Reynolds?
You may not realize it, but your presence is destroying the future of our country.
Yeah,
The defense
no.
budget has been cut greatly. In
Yeah.
under 5 years, the army has been reduced to 1/3 of what it was.
Well, that's
While
what
our
peace
enemies
is about.
Are getting stronger by the day. We are fighting more threats.
If we could actually
yet
get
we
rid
have
of this
willingly become
enemy before
weaker.
they finish an actual conversation,
Mr. President,
we
your
don't have to
policy
listen to it.
Is destroying America.
Enemy destroyer
No
sunk.
one respects us anymore. Our army is no longer feared. No one believes that we can hold up the promises we've made to our allies. Because of that, before we are weakened further, before our enemies smell our weakness, we must use our remaining might to wipe them off the face of the earth. We must fight for a world where our families can sleep
Isn't
soundly.
that the truth for a
world
lot of things?
Where our children do not
But
have
we
to
all
live
really
in
need to actually
fear.
listen to each
You're
other.
wrong. America is not defined by the strength, size, or technological reach of the military, and reducing it will not destroy us. Fear
There we go.
and hatred are destroying America.
Now we're gonna go
Having the
up here.
biggest guns doesn't make us any more respectable. All our weapons are doing for us are showing the world that we don't play well with others. Humanity's development has stunted under the fog of war. All of our creativity
Gonna
and
go up
innovation
here,
has
slide
been
up
swallowed
slightly.
up by the defense industry, while societies less fortunate suffer the
This
consequences.
isn't just so we can take it out,
Abused the collective power.
and because we got rid of them
The 7th
before
Fleet
the
flagship
actual
USS Enterprise
conversation
has
is
been
done,
sunk.
we get to immediately
I never thought
end
we'd
that.
meet on the battlefield like this.
Didn't we say that we would? Foreshadowing, game. Foreshadowing. Huge foreshadowing. Gonna go like this there. Slide over here. Slide in here. Lock on there. Come on now. Take it around town. Gonna find the last enemy. Where are ye? Okay, there you are. Hate when it's just like one enemy left.
All hostiles eliminated.
There we go.
Main system. Disengaging combat mode.
Mithril, you're... Lieutenant Juliana, what are are you doing? Stop!
She wants revenge.
No! I can never forgive her. Just this one. This one
Must not be allowed to live.
Miss Juliana!
And
Juliana!
Andrea. Yeah. So remember what happened at the end of the last act?
Shut up!
She does want revenge.
Just die already! What is this green light?
Funnels deployed.
Want to avoid the giant laser. Because unlike Ileana, we don't get healing being in this type of mode. So we need to actually avoid damage. So,
General
we've gotten through 3 of the 4 acts. Now we're on to the final 2. Or the final mission.
I'm picking up
Which I believe was originally DLC.
Incoming. The IFF
But I will
blue.
point this out. We use Mirai here for the fact of needing to take care of extra enemies. However, we would really want Ileana for the final part, but
also seek peace. It's an honor to fight alongside you.
it's more that we really do want the homing here, and the blade is just very useful.
Mirai! Mirai!
Sorry, I must have fallen asleep.
So even though both have it, a blade on that one, it's just smarter to have this, because we want the missiles to basically make this part faster. So we're gonna fly over here, take care of all these. Although the game does not really explain some of the stuff, even in the cutscenes, but it is what it is. And also, the we do want the homing missiles, because we don't need the giant laser in this one.
So this is what you wish to see.
Seeing how the seeing what Andrea actually wanted from it.
See what it can do.
Lock on.
Someone is going to die.
Slowly move here.
Need some help?
Again, want to make sure we take out all the enemies. Lock on to multiple enemies.
JX-9 Anarchist operation.
And then use that.
This is Iago Travis in the Anarchist, preparing to engage.
Also, there is a secret boss fight here, but we're not going to take it out.
Been so blind. We will fight you no more. We will join your cause and help you end this madness.
We all hope humanity at some point will get its act together. But will it happen? Who knows? I am an optimist on that one and hope.
I die free!
So we're gonna lock on. Line up. You do have to admit the music is good for an indie game. You do have to admit the music is good. Now, ironically, we do not get a checkpoint here. Well, we get a checkpoint here, but that's far from the end of the mission. So we need to take out all the enemies here. They're coming in. So the smartest thing to do is just get close.
War.
And use the fact that I'm getting close to take them out.
Another relentless series of problems. All the bloodshed and atrocities make us shudder in horror.
And again, we're gonna just do this.
All who are wicked and corrupt.
Death comes to everybody, sadly. this generation, not just in the game, but we're going to remember a lot more thanks to things like YouTube, Twitch, and a lot of other things. Keeping those memories alive. I know I don't like to say things existentially, but it's true. And it's something we all need to actually realize. People will be able to remember things a lot more. In both a good and a bad way. I'm not going to say power of friendship or anything else like that, but can't we all just learn to live together? And yes, breadth of the subject matters between this and my next game is going to be just night and day. Just hope no one's tried to ping me or anything else like that, because I have not had a chance to look at things. However, I have managed to keep an eye to the stream to make sure, apart from some mistakes and apart from some all things, run's going all right. Line up. Funnel. Line up here. Get rid of you.
This is Team Epsilon! The system security is tighter than we thought! You need to
Come on, there.
time!
Yeah, I know. We need to buy more time. So we're gonna lock on to things. Have some very close missiles. Take out as much as we can.
This is Alpha. The tunnel is open. The rest is up
Now
to
we
you.
need to go
The
in
gate is
there.
open. Get inside.
Reload everything. Get over here. Did I get the position in properly? No. Nope. Thought I was on the spot, but no. There we go. There we go. Here we are. This is the part where Liliana would actually help more.
Proceed with caution. It's going to throw everything at you to keep you from the core.
It'll be hard to dodge enemy fire in a closed area like this.
Yeah.
Focus.
It's hard to dodge stuff in here, but the one nice thing about Mirai having the missiles is it does help. Well, not missiles, but the homing lasers, it helps. This is the one part where Liliana actually does help a bit more for this mission. Which is why she's actually the preferred unit for the for it on the highest difficulty. Now, I'm going to shut up for a bit because I need to not die here.
The Ronald Reagan AI has been destroyed.
The explosion could collapse the tunnel. Get out of there now!
God, come on. I need
The
to get out of
safety
here.
gates are closing.
No! No! That's never happened before. Big time.
I'm picking up USAS M5 by squadron incoming. The IFF readings are blue.
Well, that cost me a lot of time. Thanks, game. The estimate is legitimately for the previous mission. Sorry, the end of mission. The end of chapter 3.
It's an honor to fight alongside you.
Damn it.
104 Air Force Marines here.
I'll finish in time, hopefully.
Mirai!
Huh? Sorry,
I'm
I
trying to
must
not
have fallen
solve the
asleep.
misses.
This is AWACS Oke Irel. Your objectives are to destroy the basic defenses, engage any hostiles converging on the
Yay.
target, and secure the airspace
Gotta love when the
for our
game
ground
screws
forces.
you over at the last second for something.
I'm reporting live from Sol 2. We are witnessing an incredible fight. The 7th and US armies are fighting
Come on now.
one another. It's as if yesterday
Hope you guys have got my payment sorted.
So this is what you wish to see.
Shake it off, maids. Shake it off.
Got this fresh off the factory floor. Now let's see what it can do.
Again, this game does take its toll on ya.
Someone is going to die today.
But what can you do? The game says no, the game says no. The real annoying thing was getting hit very last second.
Need some help?
Yeah. I do. But you're not gonna help the game.
But the next time we meet, that won't be the case.
JX-9 Anarchist operational. I repeat, this is Iago Travis in the Anarchist, preparing to engage.
I don't understand. How could we have been so blind? We will fight you no more. We will join your cause and help you end this madness.
I die free!
That's a very big, that's never happened before. But that's why the estimate is what it is.
We have secured the airspace.
It is purely for things where the game says no. Luckily, I have the skills. Pay the bills, as the old saying goes. Come on now.
War. Another relentless series of problems. All the bloodshed and atrocity
Let's go.
make us shudder in horror.
Death comes to all who are wicked and corrupt.
Death comes to us all, like I said, sadly. Come on now. Luckily,
arrive at the target area.
Tensi is going to be a fun treat. After this, okay, where are you? There you are. Okay, let's see here. Come on now.
This is Bravo team. We've secured
Come
the
on
building.
now. This is annoying to me. Let's go, come on. Okay, come on now. Okay, where are you, enemies?
This is Team Epsilon! The system security is tighter than we thought! You need to buy us more time!
Yes, sure. Sure, I can do that. It's what I've got to do, game. Get so fun. Catch a shot just at the very end of a mission.
This is Alpha. The tunnel is open.
Thank you.
The rest is up to you.
The gate is open. Get inside.
Come on, now. Let's see if I can get this now.
It looks like the defense system cannot be deactivated remotely.
Let's go.
Proceed with caution. It's going to throw everything at you to keep you from the core.
It'll be hard to dodge enemy fire in a closed area like this. Focus.
Yeah, I know. Yep, gotta keep going for that one there. Let's go. At least the game does play nice as far as the lock-ons go for this one. As long as we're a little bit above it.
The Ronald Reagan AI has been destroyed.
There we go.
Could collapse the tunnel. Get out of there now.
Yeah.
The safety gates are closing.
Yes, they are, but we'll make it. As long as I don't get caught on things.
Mirai.
There we go.
Respond. Mirai.
There we go. And we made it to the last mission. We'll be using Giliana. Gonna cut it close.
You're watching, right, Colonel?
This is okay, Irel. There's not much time left before the testament reaches interception altitude.
Long story short, the Children of the Fallen Nations are dropping a giant satellite,
unit and multiple high-performance battle frames,
which will deal a lot of damage to Earth.
Morgan,
Think of it almost like the giant asteroid.
The Children of Fallen Nations Ace.
We are using Giliana because we'll need her for the second part.
Warmongers from both sides have come here of their own free will, huh?
You.
Just sit still and accept your end. I may have underestimated you before.
Gonna go point blank in there. Avoid the damage, like no one's business.
Defense system on hard 6 is ready.
Just timed that one there. So we're just gonna go flying close. Take out the main targets. Come on now.
I must stand.
No, you don't
until my
need to
last
stand.
breath.
Because we want to get this run over.
Sorry. I did everything I could.
Now we just got to get rid of the last few enemies. There's still a second part of the mission to go, but... luckily the game does give us an actual checkpoint. Okay, gonna go close. Get rid of you. There we go. Yep. You over there, we're gonna take you out. I'm not gonna use the giant laser, sadly. We're gonna need you to take. We're gonna need it to take out your commanding ship. Let's check radar. I know you're around here. There it is. Luckily, we will be taking a safety heal, basically. Giant laser attack of death. There we go. So we're now on to the second phase of the mission. And we will be taking a mission restart heal. And I will also be doing something that you wouldn't expect me to do. But before that, oh, also, apparently that's our reason. If you notice, I'm turning down the sensitivity. That's because this is a very precise thing, and you have very small hitboxes to hit. So, I need to be able to be very precise, and the camera control being very important for maintaining things.
Whatever happens, the Earth and its inhabitants will remember this day. The day we learn to live as one. We will fight for it. We've come this far.
Get out of the way. Also, you get to hear the full version of Hope.
Testament is
There's
20%
25.
damaged.
Yep. Do.
4 minutes until Testament reaches the surface.
That there.
I thought I didn't have a dream of my own, but now I know what it is. My dream is for humanity
Now we're on to the second part of it.
I fight so that others can have hopes and dreams.
This is legitimately horrible for momentum.
We will face the despair. We will face the darkness. No matter
There's
how
the second set.
we will stand and fight.
You can only get one at a time, so you have to decide whether or not you want to either go for high damage.
The Testament is 40% damaged.
And what I'm doing there is pure blade missile volley. Come on, get off of it! As I said, this is a very precise thing.
You have to hurry.
Damage is at 30%. Defense system on Hardpoint 6 is ready. Warning.
There we go.
All damage is now at 50%. All ready. All damage is approaching critical level.
I don't have time to redo this stuff. Come on now, game. 60%, I believe.
60%.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Defense system on Hardpoint 6 is ready. All ready.
80%, please.
2 minutes left.
Come on now. Game, be kind, yes.
Defense system on Hardpoint 6 is ready.
Come on.
Testament is 80% damaged.
Yay.
Just a little more.
That means all we have to do is take out one more. Yes. Come on now.
Defense system on Hardpoint 6 is ready.
Let's end this with one of my favorite techs. A blade missile volley.
We can do this, right, Mirai?
Time.
Yes, Miss Juliana. We can do this.
Did we make it under? Yes! Skin of the teeth. Skin of the teeth. That late game death. That late game death. Okay, y'all. I don't know if they want me to stop streaming and be back for a second. Give me a second. well, all, I'll be back in a little bit because I need to sift over stuff to get ready for my next run. Okay? At least I'll also have commentary. Anyway, I'll be back in a bit. I'll be back in a few minutes, all.